Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, Roaming with Robert. Today we're going to talk about the Denali lights that we just installed on the GSA, and so let's get into it. First things first, these are great lights, very expensive, but I think they're worth it for those who are traversing landscapes in the dark and especially off-road. So the first thing, I'll get down here and show you the lights themselves. These are D7s, right here, the top ones. I had to get a mounting bar, obviously, to go with it. I'll talk about the installation here in a second, but these are sold in pairs. I think it's the brightest lights they currently offer from Denali, and there's something to be said about that. They should come with a warning. May piss off drivers nearby. So two things. One, for daytime running lights, I just have them off. I tried at 10%, and those tend to be annoying as well. It's just still even bright at 10%. In the evenings, I wouldn't even have them on if there's people in front of you, and if you do, then have them really low. I got yelled at first day I had them on by a guy at a stoplight, so number one. So these are really awesome. They brighten up the whole, I mean, it looks like a baseball stadium. It's extremely bright. So great if you're, all by yourself in dirt roads and need something to brighten up the trail. These, on the other hand, these D3 fog lights, they're on all the time. These are my daytime running lights. I have them at 100%. Why that can be the case, because they are still very bright, is because they have a hard cutoff. There's a line across the light pattern that keeps them from hitting the drivers in the eyes. It's because of the lenses here. And actually has a nice 180-degree span across the, my knees are hurting, across the riding path, so to speak. So on the left of the bike and the right of the bike, you have some really good visual. It lights up the road really well. So if deer are there or animals, you can see them ahead of time, which is why I got them. But during the day, of course, they're great for just making you stand out to other cars. So those are on all the time, as are the stock lights, which as you can tell here, I move them down to their own mounting position on the bottom of the crash guard. They originally were here, and I removed them there because I wanted the yellow to be in the middle, and I had to buy a separate bracket from Denali for this. These, I just got a standard bracket, whatever you call it, holder that mounts onto these kind of frames to mount these lights, and then zip tied the crap out of the cords going up the crash bar. So those are the three types of lights. I also have the brake lights in the back, which is a very bright LED, which flashes when you brake and also flashes when you hard decelerate, which is kind of cool, like engine braking, which I like. The CANsmart controller that goes with all of this actually controls them really well, which we'll get to here in a second. But I do love the fact that you can honk your horn and all the lights flash strobe. I like that you can control them with their wonder wheel. So those things are pretty cool. So coming to installation. So when it came to installation, they don't really tell you how to run the wires. That's what I really put a burr in my bonnet when I was trying to install these things. I had to watch a biker thing, which he did a great job of showing you how to disassemble your GSA, and also how he tends to install these, because he also sells them. But I wasn't comfortable doing what he did. So what he did was basically take off the tank, which you already have to take off this fairing, this piece of the fairing. Pull this back. Actually, I had to unhook this bolt and have the crash bar kind of fold down this way, just so I could make sure I could access the screws necessary to release this one, and of course this piece and this piece. I do enjoy the fact that I actually learned about the bike by doing this, so I'm not mechanically inclined, but this was very helpful for me to understand the bike better and how things are put together. I did lose a screw though, so be aware of that. One of the brackets that hold a screw in, I think this one on the other side, I lost it inside of the bike somewhere, and so now I can't screw that screw in. Be that as it may. That part right there was hard enough, but he wanted to additionally have you do is to take off the actual gas tank so that you could run the wires underneath the gas tank. Well, quite frankly, that's not something I wanted to do. It was like a bunch of screws, and I just wasn't ready for that level of stuff yet. So I decided to run it underneath the seat and go through the pathway leading to the front of the bike that other wires I saw were already doing. So basically zip tied the crud out of it until I got underneath the tank on this side, avoiding, of course, the hot parts of the engine, and then going up under here. Oh, I forgot to talk about the sound bomb. I also have a sound bomb right there. So as you can see there, maybe roughly, you can see that the zip ties are kind of holding the wire cluster above the sound bomb. The sound bomb is fitting there really tight. And of course there's some wires over here that are just zip tied together. I just felt like that was my best option, given that I wasn't comfortable having to take the whole tank off. And I did the same thing on this side. As you can tell from this particular mounting position, this is the mount for the sound bomb, and there's some wires running here. And so those wires were also zip tied and went to the front, so I just followed that path with the other wires. Again, just trying to finagle it. And honestly, it's better than the very, very creative and detailed method that a biker thing did, because he does it for a living. So kudos to him. If he was in my area, I probably would have paid him to do it, but I'm glad that I didn't, because I was able to learn about this for myself. So wires all run, all zip tied, running really well. Love this product, highly recommend. The sound bomb is super loud, and the lights are super bright. Going back to how to control this, I think it's kind of fun to talk about that. So coming over here to the jog wheel, we're going to talk about how you control these lights on the fly. Now the CANsmart controller is tied to your laptop, so you can actually adjust these lights through the software, but that usually is done like when you have the bike already apart, because the CANsmart controller sits underneath this seat. If I had a key, I'd undo it and show you. So it's kind of stuck underneath the seat right there, and that's not exactly convenient to constantly access if you want to change the light setup. So what they show you how to do is through the jog wheel, you push it to the right for 3 seconds, and then it engages it. You'll see a flash of the first set of lights, and then you can use the jog wheel or the wonder wheel to adjust the brightness in real time. And then you can go left for 3 seconds and adjust the other set of lights, and then go up and down to adjust the lights. If you want to turn the first set of lights on, you would push and hold this for 3 seconds. And if you want to turn it off, you do the same. If you want to do the other set of lights, you push it 3 times, and then that turns it on, and then 3 more times turns it off. So that's a great example of how you can adjust the lights on the fly. That's pretty fun. So, and turning them off and on is also quite helpful when people are, aggravated by your bright lights. All right, so that's the Denali D7, D3 fog light setup that I have on my bike. Hope that was informative. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments. Cheers.